for us, this is Unit 6, Lesson 4, so this is our second day, our day 2 of inspection. Remember, inspection, as I talked about yesterday, is when you do not have a number in front of an x squared. Okay? 343. Okay? So just to review, in order to factor x squared plus bx plus c, we're looking for two integers that have a product of c, so we're multiples of c that add up to b. That's the sum product we've been talking about. If there isn't any integers that do that, then it cannot be factored. Okay, in order to factor x squared plus 6x plus 9, whose product is, so what's its product? 9, and sum is 6. Okay, in order to factor negative 12 and 1. Okay, remember, just an x is a 1x. So it says, recall the following points from the previous lesson. If the product is positive, the two integers must be either both positive or both negative, how we talked about. So this guy right here, if that's a positive, that means both of these have to be positive or negative. Okay. If the product is negative, they have to have different signs. So this one was a negative 12, so we have a negative, okay, and we have a positive. All right. Okay, so let's kind of keep going around because I feel like you guys, whoops, I don't need that. I always forget. Okay, so we're to Taylor. So Taylor, can you factor A for me on 1? What are multiples of 12 that are 1 apart? And why am I saying apart instead of adding? 4 and 3, right? And why? But again, why am I saying apart instead of adding them? Because it's a negative, exactly. Since this is a negative, I'm looking for multiples of 12 that are 1 apart because this is a negative 1 here. Because we're going to be subtracting them now. Okay? So she said, what did you say? You said 4 and 3, but which one's which? Do you know which one's the positive, which one's the negative? Okay, how did you come to that conclusion, Taylor? Right? And 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Okay? So, also, I kind of don't even do that, to be honest. What I do when I look at it is I say, okay, I have a negative here. My signs have to be different. Whatever this is what the bigger number is. So I have a number 4 and 3. So my middle is what? Negative. Correct? So to me, that means my bigger number has to be negative, so I have a negative 4. That's how I like to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You can always just figure in your head, okay, which combination is going to give me a negative 1 when I add them together. That's fine. Okay, so I'll do the part B here and show what I'm talking about. So 18, okay, 6 and 3 jumps to my mind. Okay, the middle is that positive or negative. So I want my bigger number to be positive. So it's going to be x plus 6, x minus 3. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. To me, it's a little quicker than like adding and subtracting them both ways to see which one works. Okay, Mike, you want to take a shot at C? Factors of 8 that are 7 apart. Sorry. This is going to be a long one. We'll come back. Breezy, do you know? Factors of 8 that are 7 apart? 8 and 1. Okay, so I have 8 and 1. Those are 7 apart. That's a negative, so it means the bigger number is negative. Okay. Again, what can you always do if you're not 100% sure that you factored correctly? And you want to check your answer. What could you do? What's that? Well, not solve it, but I think you expand. Yeah, we can multiply this back out, right? We can go and distribute and FOIL it out and see, okay, this is right. I got the right answer. Okay, good. All right, so factor where possible. So they've really emphasized on the possible here, so you can say no. Okay, so Josh, you want to try A? So A minus 3, A plus 9. Good. So 9 and 3 are his numbers. The middle is positive, so his bigger number is positive. Okay, good, Josh. Okay, B. What can we do first to B, Janae? What can we do first to B? take out the 2, so then that leaves me with here, and then what's that factor down to? Good. 2 negatives because she has a positive now. Okay. Good. C. What do you think about C? Joseph, what do you think about C? What's that? You're right. You can't do it. Good job. Can't do that one. There's no factors of 6 that are 3 apart. You have 6 and 1, and what's the other factor of 6? 3 and 2. So one's 5 apart, one's 1 apart. So then, Joseph, you're going through your list. You can't do it. So it's 6 times 1, 3 times 2. Those ones, none of them have 3 difference. Okay. All right. And Allie, what can I pull out of D? What do they all have in common? A 4x. So I'm a 4x what? Good. 4x squared. So that gives me x squared minus 4x minus 5. Okay. And then Tatum, what's that factored? Well, how many factors of 5 are there? 1 and 5, right? How far apart are those? Is that what we want? Okay, good. This is negative, so the bigger number is? Negative. Good. So, x minus 5, x plus 1. Just like that. All right, one little piece left here. Okay, second page. Okay, so now factoring trinomials in the form of x squared plus bxy plus c. So this is just understanding the pattern. So they're just throwing a y in there, and it really shouldn't mess it up too much, and I'll show you why. But let's just back up for a second. X plus 2 times x plus 4 equals x squared plus 6x plus 8. Can be factored, so just the other way around is x plus 2, x plus 4. Just reversing it. Now, when I FOIL this out, x squared, what's an x times a 4y? 4xy, right? That's all we can do with it. And then what's a 2y times an x? 2yx, so I'm just going to write 2xy to keep consistent, it's the same thing. And then I have a 2y times a 4y. 8y squared. Okay, now if I combine these, I can combine those. So I have that's an 8y squared there. I ran out of room, sorry. Okay, so that's what it kind of simplifies to. Now don't let the y's psych you out and make things more difficult. They're making sure you understand the pattern. Okay, so they're just making us write it backwards now. X squared plus 6xy plus 8y squared factors to x plus 2y, x plus 4y. Now look, it's still the same game. What are multiples of 8 that add up to 6? 4 and 2. The only difference is what? There's a y on them. That's it. The only difference is a y on them. Okay, so let's try this one here. So now let's just think about it. So what you need to understand from the pattern, let me show you this. We understand there's going to be an x here, and we're going to have something y and something y, right? Because I have a y squared. How do you get a y squared? By going y times y. What are factors of 30 that add up to 13? Close. 10 and 3. So I want to go plus 10y plus 3y, and we're done. So you're really just factoring normally. Okay. All right, we'll come back to you, Mike. Now do you want to try B, Mike? Okay, so now it's with a minus. So multiples of 72 that are 71 apart. 72 times 1. Yeah, 72 times 1. The middle is positive, so the bigger number is? Nope, positive. So this is positive, bigger number. So you want plus 72y minus 1y. So you can just put a y here or put a 1y. However you want to do that. Okay, let's pause for a second. I know there's extra variables now. Are we losing people? Confused yet? Any questions? Tatum, you're my question person. You got a question yet? You good? Okay. Nothing? All right. I will assume that you think it's easy then. All right. Brandon, do you want to take a shot at this one? What do you want to try to do first, maybe? Yeah, let's take a 3 out. Try to make our lives easier in the front. So we take a 3 out. If I take a 3 out of that, that gives me 84b squared. Okay, so I'm going to have 3. I'm going to have an A. It's a minus. I'm going to have a negative and a positive. Okay, so we're looking for factors of 84 that are 5 apart. Let's try some. Fine. Somebody help him too, it's fine. What'd you get? 12 and 7. Okay, so then I'll ask Brandon, is the 12 positive or is the 12 negative? Good, because that's a negative, the bigger one's negative. So 12b, 7b. Very good. All right, any last questions before we close up? Okay, good job.